Hi FPL managers, welcome back for another video. So guys, this will be my game week 38 review video as well as final season review video. I'm going to have a look at the season, talk about exactly what I did differently, how I played my cheap strategy, and how I ended up having this overall rank at the end of the season, 2201. So guys, I'll be talking about how I think I just missed out from finishing in the top 1K overall rank. But first, we have to identify with the champions. I was in Liverpool for the parade, guys, so I'm super excited to declare that my team is the champion of the land, Liverpool FC. So, guys, it means everything to us. It means a lot. So, I was there live in person for the 20th trophy parade, guys, and I might just be documenting my whole trip to Liverpool and the whole trophy parade, how it went, and as well as talking about in this video, I'll be touching on the players who did pretty well in my team for the season, and as well as how I played my cheap strategy throughout the season, just to see if that could help any manager out there to play differently next season. And I'll be looking at what players did extremely well throughout the season, looking at their stats and looking at how long or how much I owned these players in my team throughout the season. So guys, keep it locked, stay with us on the channel. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button, and if you're a regular, you've been around, please give us a like at the end of the video. I'm happy to engage. You can leave comments in the comment section, tell me how your season has been going or how your season has gone so far. What was your overall ranking? What do you look to play differently in the coming seasons as well, guys? So well, let's continue to the other part of the video, guys. Welcome back, guys. So I'll start with my game week 38 points review video, and just look at how we missed out on finishing in the top 1K overall rank, guys. So I ended up on 2201 overall ranking, and I think the game week didn't go too good because I did take a -4 hit by bringing in Evan Nielsen, and he proudly blanked despite playing 90 minutes on that particular game day and against obviously a vulnerable Leicester City defense. I wonder how he didn't get the goals, but it was his teammate Semenyo who got those goals. So Semenyo delivered 16 pointer, I think, and then that made things a bit difficult for us to be able to finish on a green arrow, as well as to be able to cover the points margin to be around the safety score. So, well, Jared Bowen did that by delivering 13 points, and Semenyo delivered 16 points. We would look at those guys when we go to the team of the week. So, for me, it was a blank in the attack from Watkins, Chris Wood, and Evan Nielsen. And guys, if you joined my last stream, I said if I bring in Evan Nielsen, I might captain him. I'm so happy I didn't go that way, and I stayed with Mo Salah due to his consistency in the season, and I felt he would want to finish on a high by getting a goal and assist. So, and that worked pretty well. But on the bench, as you can see, we lost Pedro Neto's points. Indeed, I've been the one screaming get Neto since game week 36, and I wasn't patient to have him playing game week 38. I was actually gonna do Neto to Bowen, but I didn't want to do a -8 because I fancied having Evan Nielsen in the team. So guys, I think this is exactly how I missed out finishing in the top 1K overall rank, um, as well as having defenders that blanked. For example, Nico Williams blanking, Munoz as well, and Raya. I wish Raya had returned something, and especially my midfielders, Elanga and Rogers, they are really to hold for me not finishing in the top 1K because the way I play the season, guys, I know for sure that Bowen was going to return points, but I couldn't have him in my team because that would mean at a cost of a -8. And of course, I didn't want to go that way. Final game of the season, we are not so sure if these guys are going to score, so I take the risk. So that's what really went on, and I got punished. Final day of the season, indeed, guys, we had a lot of strange goal scorers or people that they do score but they are not consistent scorers. For example, Gundogan, Stewart for Southampton, Ahmad came back from injury to start scoring again. Hinshelwood, another one. Colwill, the Chelsea defender. So, well, guys, it was a game week where the players we all didn't have in our team were scoring. And I think this player would be a really decent player for next season. Guys, keep an eye on him if you would own a Chelsea defender. So, well, guys, that's it for game week 38. And I think that's how we missed out on finishing in the top 1K overall rank in the world. And I would be going now to have a look at my chip strategy over the season. So guys, just keep it locked with me while we do this. And then before after that, we'll look at the stats, what players had, or before that, we'll look at the stats, what players did well in their position. So in the midfield, I'm still surprised to see Cole Palmer as the third returning, highest returning midfielder. I don't know how he done that. Actually, he is the third highest returning FPL player for the season, and probably because he's on the penalties, he's on the free kicks, corner kicks, and all that stuff for Chelsea. So that does add value to what a player can return. I think if Jared Bowen has the same exact value to his gameplay, we would be very thankful to Graham Potter for that. So because right now in West Ham, the man on penalties is Lucas Paqueta. So I think that's what's sort of keeping Bowen where he's at. Otherwise, Bowen is a decent player. He had a good season as well. Although he suffered a dip, just like Watkins on beneath him, he still had a decent season. And then that being said, we would move on to, of course, number one ranked player Mohamed Salah. What a player, what a season he had. We'll start now with the goalkeepers to see who delivered the most points. And then you can look at your season. How many game weeks did you hold on to this guy? So guys, most of my season, I'm happy to say in the goalkeeper department, I head on to a lot. I head on to Henderson of Crystal Palace and Pickford. And looking at the coefficients, points return, 135 for Henderson and 158 for Pickford. That's a lot. So if you had either of these guys in your goalpost throughout the season, they did decently. I think Alisson Becker of Liverpool and Henderson are down there because they had a lot of missed out on a lot of games due to injuries throughout the season. So we cannot judge them. I'm quite surprised Pope is all the way down here. I think it's also the same situation. Pope had some injury situation throughout the season as well. And then an underperformer, in my opinion, will be Jose Sa due to his experience in the league. I'll say he underperformed. Same for Vicario. He played a lot of the most games for the Tottenham Hotspur, but still didn't deliver. I mean, he's so close to Kelleher, who is the second choice goalkeeper of Liverpool, delivering 45 points himself. So, guys, we already see what the stats are. We know what goalkeepers are likely to always return points in the season. Doesn't matter how their defenses are doing, they do get saves and all that. So I'll say the new boy on this list will be Sales. I don't know how Matt Sales made it on this list, but yeah, it's good to see a new guy on the block. So Matt Sales made it, Flecken made it. So guys, these are the goalkeepers you might want to look at for next season. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't make it to as being the top returning defender, despite being the most expensive. But I think the third most expensive defender, Vardio, just beat him to that. And Virgil is also up there. So guys, these are really decent defenders that we can look at. So I like Kirkers, I like Munoz, and I like Cucurella as well. And that also goes for Levi Colwill. Even though he didn't get to play a lot of games, he still delivered a decent 109 points, which is actually a lot more than Konate. I can't believe Robinson is on 106 points, despite being, I think, one of the most highest rated players on assist. I think at a point in time in the season, he was the player with the most assists. So, guys, but he then suffered a dip in form. So, what time in the season did you move on from Anthony Robinson, guys? Let me know. Drop that in the comment section. I held on to him for a long while. I think through up to like game 29 or 30 there about. And then obviously most highest returning midfielders, we pretty much know whom these guys are. And the most surprising part I'll say would be Semenyo introducing himself there. Clivert as well, climbing up on the ranks. It will be these are new guys on the block that we typically don't always get up there. Same for Murphy as well. I think Murphy had his best season. I'm a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, no matter what's happening with Man United and his attitude. He probably gave my season a definition when I brought him in and made him captain in game week 29, I think. And of course, Isak, highest returning forward, just closely followed by Chris Wood. And Haaland, I'll say he underperformed this season, 181 points, very, very low scoring. Mateta, decent player. Rahul Jimenez coming back from injury and trying to prove himself again. Super excited for him. Evan Nielsen has shown us that he is a reliable center forward. And first season in the Premier League, I think he is a decent center forward. Same goes for Welbeck. But guys, I'm a big fan of Evan Nielsen, and I think next season he would have it way much more easier for him, and he'll be able to show us how converted a goal machine he is. And assistant managers, I wouldn't say too much. Moyes did pretty decent all season. Same for Glasner. I did get good return on my assistant manager. She playing it in game week 36, 37 and 35 on Glasner, and he returned on Hosler, and he returned decent points. I wouldn't want to pick on another manager if I want to play that strategy again. The only difference would be probably I liked Oliver Glasner around game week where he had a couple of wins against big teams. I think game week 26 to 28, where a lot of people played him, and he had Fulham 20 points, Aston Villa 20 points, and as well as Ipswich on the 9-pointer. So I'll say I indeed missed out on that side of the game, but my assistant manager still delivered and did pretty decent for me. So guys, back to the team page. I'm just gonna talk about what I did differently in certain game weeks, how we started the season. So in game week 1, this was my team, and we ended up on 67 points. I had Anderson from Fulham, who happened not to play, so he happened to be a bench player in the beginning of the season. And I had Bako, who was like a trap because he happened to be loaned out to Sevilla just before the start of the season, despite being a big part of the team in preseason. So that came to hurt us. And I also started with Cresswell, who wasn't a member of a part of the West Ham squad at that point in the season. So got wrong starts. Eze, he had a slow start to the season, even though I kept faith in him. I'll go on now to game week 2. I still had Eze in the team. I kept faith in him. I had Haaland for captain. Cresswell managing to deliver 1 point, playing 1 minute. So that was to tell you we really started the season very poorly. It wasn't the most encouraging season for a start. Let's go that way, guys. And then Robinson, this was where he started to show us his potentials, that he was a points magnet, returning those assists, and Salah as well, picking his form right from the start of the season, getting a goal in game week 2 already. Also in game week 1 as well. So yeah, and I held on to Salah and Haaland for a long while in the season. I think up until game week 16 before I moved on from Haaland. Yeah, so guys, I think I held on to Haaland up until around game week 16 thereabout before I actually did let go of him, despite his blanks for a long while. And I think the moment I let go of Haaland, I never brought him back in the team. So guys, I'm just gonna try and look at what game week I let go of Erling Haaland, because that actually has a lot to do with, yeah, it was in game week 16 I did the Isak to Haaland, or Haaland to Isak, so to say. So I actually had a better season from game week 16, guys. So I was holding on to Haaland, hoping he delivers. I was one of the very last few managers to move on from Haaland, in my opinion. So I held on to him for, I'll say, maybe quite too long. when I should have moved on from him. So throughout game week 1, 2, 3, I was around 1.9, and game week 5, 3.6 million. That was a red arrow. Game week 6, I had a green arrow, 2.8 million. Game week 9, 1.6 million, and in game week 10, I broke into the top 1 million, coming back with 700 and something thousand overall ranking. In game week 11, half a million overall ranking. In game week 12, we hit 237k, which was decent. And we still had Erling Haaland in the team there. And in game week 13, 14, 15 was a red arrow. I couldn't even just meet the marginal score line for each game week, and that was so disappointing. And in game week 16, when I did the Haaland to Isak, and I captained Isak, so these are just the few bits that added a meaning to my season. You know, these certain game weeks where I moved my captaincy away from Mohamed Salah. These were game weeks where I'll say I capitalized and gained more rank. And I'm still going to show you guys another game week. So I'll say in game week 16, when I moved on from Haaland and I brought in Isak, and I was bold enough to captain Isak, and I got 78 points that game week, plus the Lewis Hall return. I do remember this game week very vividly, and also Cunha also delivering. So I'll say my season changed from game week 16, and that wasn't just the end, but from game week 16, it became much better and clearer that we could, climb rank. In game week 17, 145k in the world. So imagine jumping from 408k to 145. That's over 300 places, 200k places jump. And from game week 17, 145k to 78k in game week 18, 75k in game week 18, and then two red arrows consecutively in game week 20, back on the green arrow in game week 21, where I had 183 points. And I think I did my wild card one in game week 19, and it wasn't a successful wild card, even though it's hard players for the next 6 game weeks. Typically, when I do a wild card, I'm targeting the next 6 game weeks for these players. So I think my benching decisions hurt me here. I should have played Robinson when he got this assist points, but ahead of maybe Gabriel Munoz, but who would have thought so? So guys, like I mentioned, if you had Pickford for certain time in the season, you probably did decently. So I had him here in my team already in game week 19 as my number 1 goalkeeper. Also, in game week 20, he was my goalkeeper as well. So certain players that we should hold in our team for certain game weeks. And around this period, I was still divided between Murphy in the team and Gordon, and I'm glad they both returned points and I got Gordon's points. But over time, I stuck with Murphy, and that was true till a very long time in the season. So guys, white carded in game week 19 for white card 1, which was the very last week that white card was available for. So I kept the white card to the very last game week that it was available for before using it. And then I triple captained in game week 24. So it was all a green arrow, positive season all through. I was running it. And in game week 24 was a triple captain of Mohamed Salah. He delivered 87 points in the 2 games he played. And this was where I would say a lot changed, but not the change we are expecting to have happened. So in game week 24, I was around top 10k. So that was where I broke into the top 10k overall rank in game week 24. So when I triple captained on Mohamed Salah and he delivered. And around that same game week, before that game week, a lot of people were playing their assistant manager chip, I think. And after that game week, a lot of people were still on their assistant manager chip. So it was a decent game week to triple captain on Salah and get that point. And then in game week 25 was a red arrow. We went back 4k places, 26, 12k, blah, blah. And in game week 29, this was when I properly sat down in the top 10k. I was now ranked 7k in the world. And who made that happen? was this man, Bruno Fernandes. He absolutely hauled in the game against Leicester City, getting the 2 assists and a goal and coming clutch with 17 points, which was 34 points. And that absolutely kicked me into the top 5K, I think. I'm gonna look into that now. So in game week 29, when Bruno Fernandes got the goals and delivered 34 points as captain, he kicked me into the top 5K. So from game week 30, I slipped into the top 5K and I tried to stay around there. So game week 31, 5K, game week 32, 5K, 33, 4K, 34, still around 3K. So green arrow in 33, 34 kept us in the 4K, 3K rank. So, and I think in game week 33 was when I bench boosted, and my bench boost was decent, not the most impressive, because my goalkeeper was injured just before the start of that game week, talking about Henderson, so I couldn't get those clean sheet points that Man City had in that game. And of course, I head on to the not playing Savinho. He played one of the games and didn't play the other one. Very disappointing to have such a player on a double game week. Same for Luka Digne. Played one of the games, ended up not playing the other one. And of course, when he played, he got a yellow card, delivered 0 pointer. So guys, it was that kind of a season where these players weren't really consistent and weren't really delivering. So after game week 33 bench boost, I free hitted in the blank game week 34, and my free hit was so smooth, guys. Probably one of the highlights of my season as well. I missed out on Jose Sa's points. I did feel Wolves were gonna whitewash Leicester City, and well, I got the goalkeeper decision wrong. I wish I had played Sa. Having that 12 pointer with the rest of the 84 points would have meant a really, really high score. Well, captaincy also went well. It could have been better if it was on Cunha, but it went well for that game week. And guys, the final cheap strategy I played was this, the assistant manager chip. So in game week 35, I activated the assistant manager chip on Hosler. 9 pointer he got against Newcastle, which was a table bonus that game. Moving on to game week 36, he got nine. I got 97 points. He got 10 pointer, which was a straight win against Wolverhampton, and he did another one against Liverpool, 19 pointer, which meant we were able to stay around the top 5K and ending up our season in 2K 201 overall rank. So guys, that's pretty much how the season went. I'll say Hosla is responsible for keeping me in the into the top 2K, because he kicked me into top 1K 107 in game week 36, and in game week 37 he kept me there. But in the last game week of the season, I think my transfer decisions went ahead to um, say different. But I'm super happy with how the season ended. Overall rank is so pleasing. I want to do it again next season, guys, and this is the place to be if you're looking to have a decent run in your FPL season, guys. So I'll say from this point on, we will be looking forward to the promoted teams, the teams that will be joining us in the Premier League, guys. We'll so be looking forward to them right now. So that's my team. I took a -4, so 44 points is the actual point score for game week 38, and final overall rank 201. I would be looking forward to the promoted teams that will be joining the Premier League. We're looking forward to them. We don't know exactly what they look like, but from all the infos I have, I think the most attacking side coming into the league is Leeds United, and the most defensive side joining the league will be Burnley. I think Burnley this got a really good defense. I watched some of their games throughout the season. So guys, these players would help us to be able to determine or know what players to go for. For example, if you want to go with a player that's, cheap, certain price tag, not too expensive. I think that's when these newly promoted teams come into play, because we want to own their player in our teams for a lesser value, or a reasonable value. So yep, that's all I've got for this video, guys. Let's keep it locked on the channel for new season. A lot more to come, better graphics, more analysis, and hopefully we can both finish in the top 1K together, or in the top 5K. The target is never the hardest. The target is usually the easiest. We go for the easier target. For example, I started with a 50K finish target. So it then later became a 10K, top 10K finish target. So guys, we could start the season with the hope of making it in the top 100K and finish the season looking to be in the top 5K. So guys, if you're looking to have seasons like this is the place to be. Hit the link in my bio, click the subscribe button, and give us a like at the end of the video. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Have a lovely weekend, everyone, and enjoy the Champions League final. I'm rooting for PSG because they knocked my team out. I think it's their season. I hope they win it. Forza PSG, and ici c'est Paris. That's what they say. Good luck, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. See you all next time, FPL managers, and keep it locked on the channel.